Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion and this here is my Buddy chapstick. I picked it at random today and this is pumpkin pie. It's not a pie. Pumpkin pie scented and flavored. Not that I go around licking chapstick off my lips, but you know, sometimes it happens. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation because of that. I just be here and sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. But it's a day. Today is July 15th and it has been a day. But we're here because we're here regardless. Life goes on. We do what we do. And YouTube is what I do as a hobby. It's just a hobby that I picked up in the lobby. That's a lyric from a Wu-Tang song. Anyway, the Crazy Troll Nation, the crazy is just that. Coming on here just any kind of way and appreciating that you're here for it. Yeah, just not feeling like you can't be yourself. Like however you are, whether you have moments like the ones I just had, or whether it's a day where, you know, you're just really feeling yourself because you feel put together, which I really seldom feel put together. But just knowing it's okay to be you and loving yourself for it and accepting yourself for it and not caring so much what other people may think of you. You love yourself first, you know what I'm saying? And that goes into the troll part regarding the beauty community, not feeling like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique or doing things that, you know, popular YouTubers are doing, but wearing whatever you want to wear with whatever tool you want to. Y'all know we in the month of McGrath. This is a real techniques brush. Doing whatever you want to do, however you want to do it to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. That was the Fenty eyeshadow primer as usual, Fenty brow pencil as usual, Pat primer, Pat foundation, Estee Lauder concealer. Because Pat's concealer was not a good shade for me. But anyway, here at the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, what do we stand for in a nutshell? Two things: self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. That's the bottom line, y'all. Love yourself, accept yourself. I do curse sometimes in videos because I curse, period, sometimes. I do. I think that's it for the intro. If you're new here, thank you for being here. If this is your first video, welcome. I am always this way, so what you already saw is what you're always going to get from me. And I hope that it's okay with you, because I am who I am, and that's all that I am. What was that, a cartoon? Was that Popeye? I am what I am. Let me know below where that's from. Okay, I'm tripping. So today's video, you see from the title what motherships that we're using. I do have some new subscribers, so thank you for being here, and I do appreciate you. I'm looking at my label to see which one it is. This is Mothership number 3, which is Subversive, and we're going to pair that with Bronze Seduction. And I feel like we just used Subversive. In a way, I'm feeling a little redundant because some palettes we're using twice, but we're pairing them with another palette, but just using the same ones. And that's what happens if you do a month of anything and it's the same brand. You may start to feel like I just used that, but because the shades are different, the combinations are different, the looks come out different, it's different. But it's just the feel of I just used that palette, but it's okay. So I'm not feeling like I need to just be over this month, because I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing the different things that these palettes can do, both on their own and paired with other motherships. And so these are the two that we're using today. I do have my notes out, I have my brushes out, and I'm hoping I don't confuse myself, because that happens sometimes, more often than I would like to admit. So I'm just trying to place things here. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to take Extreme Aubergine from Mothership 5, Bronze Seduction, and we're going to put that on our outer corner. I went out today. I don't go out every day, y'all. I am retired from the clinical field. If you're new, I have a doctorate in psychology, traveled there all the way from a GED. So I didn't even finish high school. But once I started college, I went all the way. Yeah, I go out maybe every 3 or 4 days. And it's like that regardless of the weather. But right now, when I went out today, it was like 89 degrees. And I'm just like, put me back in the air. My body does not handle heat well. I get heat exhaustion very quickly, even when I'm well hydrated. So it's not even that I don't have enough fluids in my body. My body is just like, no, don't do it. And then my skin feels like it's burning. I have had sunburn quite a few times in the past, but I avoid the sun at all costs. And when it's hot out, I'm just like, call me. You ain't gonna see me nowhere. But I had a notification that my Ipsy, which was actually my BoxyCharm Boost box, had been delivered on the 14th. And prior to that, it said it was going to be delivered the 17th. And so when I checked it again, it said the 14th. It was already the 15th, which was today. And so I went out to my mailbox. Where I live, we have what they call cluster boxes. And so you have to go to your mailbox. It's like a 7-minute walk. I told you, it was 89 degrees. I drove. And most times I drive to my mailbox anyway, because I'll take my trash with me, dump the trash off at the dumpster. They have one for regular trash and one for recyclable, and then I'll check my mailbox and come home. But in the fall, sometimes I will just take a walk and go check my mail. Like when it's nice out, it's breezy. It might be like 7 at night, so you still have a cool breeze, even if it's like 70 degrees outside. But in the summertime, I drive to my mailbox. And I always couple it with taking my recyclables and my trash, or if I have an appointment to go to, I'll take my trash and check the mail on my way home, that type of thing. So the only time mail comes to our door is if it's something that will not fit in your mailbox and the lockers are full, and it's only 2 lockers. And of course, UPS comes to the door, Amazon comes to the door. Yeah, so, but for the most part, we have to go get our mail, and FedEx comes to the door. I'll open the door and there'll be a box out there, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Do tell. But I always know when stuff is coming because I do follow tracking. And usually they do knock on the door. And it's never, they don't stay. They just, you know, knock, and leave just to let you know if you are home. You know, come look and see. So even if I'm in bed, if it's something I'm excited about, I'll get up out of bed, open the door and get the box and open it and just check everything, and then I'll get back into bed. So this is Extreme Aubergine. I am digging it. I realize I haven't been doing the sharp angle that I started out doing in part 1 of this series, but I'm still digging it. I'm really liking it. I'm loving the looks that I'm doing. My crease is sticking where the mobile lid here and the puffiness up here meet, like in the crease, it is sticking together. And when I'm looking this way and then when I look down, I can feel it kind of pull apart. And I know for some people the Fenty primer is not a tacky primer, but for me it's a tacky primer, and that is okay. And I love it because shadows do adhere very well. Next we're going to take from, which one is it? Subversive. I'm in a weird state today. My body's doing some things that I'm just like, can you stop? So we're going to take this shade here, which is Night Creature, and that's going to go next to, well, the same thing we've been doing if you've been here. So you kind of know, this seems like it doesn't really want to pick up. This is strange. The PAO one here, oh, it still has a lot of life in it. Maybe it's just the texture of it. It's a similar texture as black metal, as you can see, like that shine, that kind of grit, but it's not gritty. It goes on smooth. And when I tap it on, like, it goes on nice. You see that? So it's just, it might be this brush, because this brush is a softer, I don't want to say flimsy in a bad way. It's not dense. Like the Hourglass number 3 brush, that one is thicker and is more dense, and so shadows do pick up different. And I'm just lightly feathering over top of that first shade. So that's going to be our blend. That's all we're going to do for the blend. For that, we're going to take a little bit more and put that down here. So, but what's happening today, it made sense why I've been more lethargic lately and more just kind of out of it lately. And so I'm glad to have figured that out, which really my body figured it out for me. But I know I'm speaking in riddles. I started cramping today. I'll just put it that way. And so I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense why I've been feeling so just lay down and don't do anything and having a hard time, you know, waking up enough to be alert to get up and all of that stuff. So I've just been really out of it. I think the previous video I was talking about how it's been just a weird week anyway. And I'm feathering right here because I'm loving the blend up here, but down here in this spot, it doesn't seem like it. So I'm going back in a little bit and I'm going to just press and feather outward over that first shade, just here in this spot right there. I am just loving this technique. And I see, yeah, I did used to do outward, inward, dark to light before. And then I stopped. And so I used to write down looks a certain way. Like if I saw somebody do a look, because the most popular way is do your transition, then do your crease, then do your outer corner, then do the lid. And that never really worked for me because I don't do a traditional crease shade, because you see I take my lid shades all the way up to my transition area, and it's because I have all this puffiness here. And if I just put shadow on my mobile lid, which is only right here, when I open my eye, all you see is that sliver. And so just doing just a lid shade on my mobile lid, you wouldn't see it really when I open my eyes. You would only see it when I would look down or blink or do one of these things. And I do realize I have more real estate than some. And part of it is that it looks like it is because I take the lid shades all the way up. But even like someone like Teresa's does, she has small eyes. And she does transition, increase, and lid shade. But she doesn't have all this puffiness. And so you actually do see like all the colors that she's putting on. Now we're still going to stay in this palette and we're going to take Amethyst Blitz. No, it's called Blitz Amethyst. And we're going to take a small dense brush because this shade, even though it's a celestial shade, it's not chunky. And that's what that looks like, which is this one. So it's purple and then it's blue. And so we are going to tap off and we are going to just press. I did have out initially sponge tip applicator to use with this shade, and I'm now thinking I should have, but it goes on so smooth though because it's not a chunky monkey. And we are going to, I don't know if I'm going to take this way or go back to the previous brush and pull Night Creature over. So I'm not sure what I want to do. But in the meantime, while I'm trying to figure that out, I think I want to hiccup, excuse me. So I think I want to pull Night Creature over instead of taking this shade further out, because I'm liking how Night Creature looks with Extreme Aubergine. I would have never thought to pair these palettes. So I was glad to see on Tintaya.com how she had what she thought which mothership would pair well with another one, and I'm like, that's an idea. And this was months and months and months ago, and I had made a note to do it, and then finally when I decided to do a month of McGrath, I'm like, I'm going to incorporate that, and I'm glad that I am. And so even if you only have, and not, it doesn't have to be the motherships, because again, use whatever you want to use, but if you only have, because I have 7 motherships, part 1 was doing a look with each mothership, so that's 7 looks, and now pairing them gives you additional options. And so you don't have to have, you know, 50 or 100 palettes. This is the brush that had Night Creature, so we're going to just pull it this way. We're not putting any additional shadow on the brush. That's nice. And so I'm just saying that to say, by the time we're done with this series, I think we'll have done, I don't know how many looks, maybe 18 looks with only 7 palettes. And the reason I like doing this is it shows you what these palettes can do on their own and paired together. And just playing around. And now we're going to pull this way. I am liking this. I like some angles more than others, because here it just looks like so blue, but then when you turn, it blends in. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so look how this, look how it looks now, and look how it looks here, but then when I turn, you have a gradient, but it's not a monochromatic gradient. And that's what I think kind of threw me off at first. I'm looking to see if I have fallout. Darn it, and I do. This is the brush I used for foundation. After I finish the eye look, I'm going to take some concealer and put more concealer under here. This side doesn't have the fallout here, but this side right here does. And because there is really nothing left in this brush, it is not coming up or off. But it's like right here. And maybe you see it because this is my skin. You see just the tan. I do have foundation on, but on over here it looks a little reddish. So here is just the foundation. Here is the fallout. So I could play it off like it's not there because it's not that noticeable. But looking close in the mirror, I do see it. So let's just keep moving. Now we're going to take, what shade? Rose Gold 005. This is in Bronze Seduction. And I have a brush for that, but I think that's going to be messy, but we're just going to do it. So this is Rose Gold. This is a dense shadow. It's not flaky. It does tap off. It's not flaky. It's not extra glittery, and it's not soft. So it's hard pressed, but not in a sense where you're not going to get the payoff, because you see how this came off on my skin, and this is with a dry brush. Would I get more of a payoff if we use the sponge tip applicator? Let's see. So we're going to just swipe it. That's it on here. We're going to tap off and we're going to press and put that there. So it is a little bit brighter, a little more opaque, but is it really that noticeable? So we're tapping off. Is the difference that noticeable? Like first swipe, yes, because it's like bam. But then once you blend it out, it kind of looks the same as with the dry brush. So this is just options on how you want to apply your shadow. We're going to go back with the brush that had it on there, not adding any more on it. And we're just going to just swipe it, just really just to get the loose particles off, the loose glitter flakes off if there are any. And let's check for fallout. I have just a few flecks over here, just like 3 flecks over there. So this is the lid. This is different. This is even different for me. I'm feeling kind of punk rockish right now, but I'm digging it because it's different. I wasn't sure how they were going to show up, but we see how they showed up. Now we're going to take, which I haven't really been doing, is transition shades. So this will really be under brow bone because this is my transition area right here. But we're going to take Entrapment from Bronze Seduction. And honestly, I'm only doing this because I wanted to use the same amount of shades from each palette. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4 from Bronze Seduction, and wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, from Bronze Seduction, and 1, 2, yeah, and 4 from Subversive. And we are going to play around again with a celestial shade as a cheek highlight. Before we didn't do the celestial shade, we did one of the skin show shades, and you see I'm just tapping this on and it is blending. This is Entrapment, and that's exactly what I wanted. So this is no upper transition / brow shade, and this is with it. So I do think it just brings it together, where it's not just like my skin tone, which actually is the primer, because the primer does have a tint to it that I always forget about. But I am really digging it. And when I first used this shade and I put it on my lid, it was darker than I thought it was going to be. And so I found that for this area here, and even for transition, if I just tap it lightly, and then if I want to go back and blend, I do that, is fine. But when I had used a more dense brush, I was just like, okay, how can I tone this down? Because this is, at the time, it was deeper than I wanted for a transition shade. But it's working for this purpose. So you see it, but it just like blends everything together. I'm tapping in just one time, just do, and then tapping off, and we're going to just tap around the outer edges. Because I don't want to take away, excuse me for smacking, any of Extreme Aubergine, but we're just softening the outskirts of Extreme Aubergine by just lightly tapping. You see, I'm not blending, I'm not swiping, I'm just tapping. Look at that. This is a very different look, and I do feel like it's kind of punk rockish, which I do like. So now we're going to take the black eyeliner pencil from Pat McGrath, and we're going to put this on our lower lash line. I'm considering putting this on my lips today and then putting a gloss on top. I mentioned in the last video, I don't know why I didn't think to do that sooner, but because this is so creamy, I think it would bleed a lot. And I'm saying that based off of experience with other creamy eyeliner pencils. I like the NYX suede matte lip liners. They are matte though. They're very dry and they are very stiff. And it's not always the most comfortable to put on. But when you put it on, it's going to stay on. It's going to stay. And that's why I like them. And it does hold, you know, whatever lipstick you put over top of it. It doesn't wear off quickly. And so that's why I like those. And for the price, you know, I'll get over it not being creamy, a creamy lip liner. This seems like it's a divot right here. And I'm trying to get it straight, which it won't matter because we're going to put shadow over top of it. And so I need to just stop. Do I want to do the lips now, or at least line the lips now? Because I still need to powder the face and all that. So I'll wait. I'll wait because I don't know if when I powder the face, this wears down so freaking quick. If I'm going to have powder all over my lips or not. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take Skin Show Glow. That's in Seduction, this shade here. And I thought about using this as a blush. Is this the one I used in the last video? I don't know. So we're just going to just put that right there. So the lower lash line is going to be pretty bland. But I just wanted to just use the shades in combination with each other from the two different palettes and looking at what to put where. And because the top of the look is so colorful, I didn't want to go overboard at the bottom, even though, you know, I kind of wanted to put Gigabyte under here, which is green, but I'm like, okay, that's too much. That's too many colors. Even for me, that was like too many colors. So this is this part here. I have shadow in my eye, and I just remembered I need to clean up that fallout underneath. Or, you know what, I might just leave it because once I do my cheek highlight and everything, I don't know if this will even be that noticeable right here. We're just going to leave it. We're going to go into Subversive, and we're going to take, what are we taking? Lazarus, this shade here. So again, the lower lash line is very basic, super basic. Have you guys seen, by this time you have, again today is July 18th, you'll see this in like a week after I film it, but the latte trend, which to me is just like a brown smoky eye eyeshadow look. So I'm just thinking like, what's the big deal with this look? It's just a basic smoky eye to me. But when I was looking at these shades, I'm like, this would be a latte look. This shade here, put this here. If you want to deepen out a corner, the Extreme Aubergine instead of a black. But I'm just like, people just want to be making up trends. And it's hot because I'm seeing a lot of videos. Latte look, latte look, latte, latte. And I'm like, it's this brown smoky eye. And I'm not a trend follower, which may or may not hurt my channel because those videos are getting a ton of views. And I think I've only watched like 2 of them because I'm just like, the first one I watched was from Alexandra because I'm like, I didn't know what it was because she had a picture of a latte and a coffee cup as her thumbnail and it said, let's do latte or something. So I thought she was going to talk about coffee. And so then when she started talking, she's like, oh, the trend, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh. Then I've seen quite a few people do it. And of course, it's all over TikTok, Instagram. I'm just like, it's a brown smoky eye, y'all. Like, I don't. Anyway. So that's something to think about. Like, when you see trends, like, is it something that always was and somebody just put a name to it? It's a brown smoky eye. But now it's like the latte eyeshadow look. We've been doing brown smoky eyes, y'all, for like 30 years. So now we're. And that's why I don't follow trends, because I'm just like, just do whatever it is you want to do. But I also understand though, if YouTube is your job, I'll put it that way. If YouTube is your job for me, as I said, it's just a hobby that I picked up in the lobby. If YouTube is your job, then yeah, you want to do everything you can do to get more views, because this is your money maker. This is your job. This is your paying job. And so I do understand it. And that's why it won't be a job for me, because I don't want my content to be dictated by trends. I just want to sit here, do makeup, you know, experiment with things, and just hope, you know, I come up in someone's feed and they're like, oh, let me check that out and like it and stay. And that's been happening. That's been happening. And so I'm really excited about that, because your people will find you. And I do encourage people who don't do videos, or if they just post on Instagram, I'm like, do videos. Like, if you enjoy recording, just do it, because for me, that's what it's about. Just doing something I love to do, and just hoping you guys will enjoy being here with me while I do it. And it's really humbling that you guys watch me, because I'm really just doing my own thing. And you guys are here for it, and I appreciate that. I really do, more than I can say. And also doing collabs with other people, because it makes the community seem more personable, and not just, you know, I'm on here just on my own doing looks, you know, communicating with people, talking to people. I love the interaction in the comment section. And so even though I'm just sitting here playing in makeup, I don't feel like I'm just here on an island, you know, just by myself, which, you know, even though I'm here alone and you're watching me, I feel like you're with me when I read your comments. I'm like, oh, okay, they're with me. Thank you. Love you. Appreciate you for being here. And I do feel redundant sometimes in the comments when I'm like, I appreciate you being here. Because I say that a lot. But I really mean it, though. Like, it is really heartfelt. And so I want to... my eyes are burning. I must have got shadow in my eye. This is a Brush to Head Extreme Aubergine, because there's a gap right here that's not here. And instead of trying to continue finagling the liner, the brush with Extreme Aubergine, not adding shadow to it right now, we're just going to press just to kind of close that little bit of gap right there. And I'm not going to do too much, because I don't want to press Extreme Aubergine out too far. And so we're going to leave that like that. I think that's better. My eyes are tearing. Uh-oh. Yeah, my eyes are tearing. So we are going to powder down the face, put on bronzers, and the same mascara base and the same mascara. And then we'll come back and put on... Actually, we're not going to come back and put on the blush. I'm going to use Paradise Venus. We're going to put that on. I'm taking that out right now. And we're going to come back, do the lip, and do the blush highlight, which is going to be one of the Celestial shades. And so you'll see me in a second. We're going to take this brush here and go into Ghost Astral Orchid. No, it's not. It's Astral Ghost Orchid. And we're going to use this as our cheek highlight. My eyes, both of them are tearing. I have shadow in my eyes. This one is tearing down here. So it like just took away like my concealer. This part right here where you can see. And they're both also tearing upward. And so it's creating like a patchiness look or a crease look just right here in the crease area where the tears are going. So I did not do the mascara base. I did not do mascara, because I'm going to need to wash this off. This is what it looks like. We're not tapping off, because we're just going to tap this right here. And this is a dual chrome. And I'm here for it. Ooh. And I don't like glittery highlighters, but this is looking nice. I'm not going to swipe it or flake it. Well, swipe it, because I don't want this to get into my eyes. And even though we didn't clean up the fallout right here, it is blending into the highlighter that we're doing. And because of the blush that we used, which was Paradise Venus, I am digging this. So we're going to take the brush we used for blush, and we're just going to tap on top of it just in case there's any loose particles, because this is glittery. Like, you see how this is here. And some of this here is from this shade, but this here is from this one. So just so it doesn't flake up into my eyes more so than the other shades did, that's why we're just pressing that in to get the loose particles off. We're going to wipe off some of the chapstick, because we're going to put this eyeliner on my lips and line and fill in, and we're going to put a gloss on top because I want to see how it looks, because that might be my thing. And I've done it before with other lip liners and glosses, but I haven't done it with this one, and I don't even know why, honestly. I didn't think to do it sooner. She doesn't have any dark lip liners, and I wasn't even going to buy, well, I wasn't going to buy any of them because I do like a dark lip. We're going to fill this in. I'm going to edit this out. I edited that out because it was taking longer than I anticipated, because this is down to a nub again. It wears down so quick, so it was hard to get like an even line. This eye is tearing horribly. Like, you see all this wetness? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to take this one because it looks like the eye look, right? But when I put it on, it might not. This is Astral Flash Dance. This eye is tearing upward and downward. I don't know about y'all, but when my eyes are tearing, I just feel miserable. We're going to put this on. Oh, wow. Wow. I should have took a different gloss, a lighter gloss. The only thing with, well, not the only thing, but the other thing with putting a gloss over this eye pencil, even though the eye pencil is creamy, it felt dry on my lips. And so I'm having to like pack on. Oh my gosh, now the outside is tearing too. I feel like, well, I didn't feel like, but I did have to really pack on the gloss because the liner was sticky. I'm liking this look. I am. I'm thinking though I could have went in with Bronze Venus. I'm gonna keep, you know what, I think for the rest of these looks, I'm going to be using this for both liner, lower lash line, and for my lips, and systematically working through different glosses. And so for this look, we used Astral Flash Dance. We're going to go through and use the other four just to see like what they look like over a black lip liner. And I do have, as I said, the NYX not NYX retractable eyeliner, the NYX matte suede lip liner, and Alien, which is black, but I also have a brown one, and I have the Nima Tang one from her collection, the chocolate one. And so we're gonna, y'all know I love me with a dark lip. I don't know if it goes with the look. I'm looking kind of punk rockish, I think. Punk rockish. Okay, yeah, I'm stammering. I'm excited. Do I got lipstick on my teeth or gloss? And also sometimes when I put on a lot of gloss, it does smear onto my teeth. And so, and it's awful when after the video, I notice it and I'm like, why nobody didn't tell me? Because it's not alive. And so you can't be like typing in Dion, clean your teeth. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. Thank you for being here. Let me know what you think. This is a lot of leakage. You see all of this from my eye, and it's tearing here and upward into the crease. And so where it's looking like the color is brighter, that's where it creased. Because it's sort of like wetting your brush. What shadow was that? That was this shade. So we're just going to press. And sometimes this will work. It'll just like smooth it out and not just look like one bright strip line of color. But still though, yeah, so we'll see. I'll see when I edit back. But I am loving this look. Let me know what you think. I am adoring the lip because y'all know I like a dark lip. I do think the lip is playing off of the second half of the lid, Night Creature and Extreme Aubergine. Yeah, we're going to a punk rock show. Thank you for being here. You will see me in the next one with the next two palettes that we're pairing. And as always, comments are welcome. And also, as always, there's a lot of information below. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you for being here, and you will see me soon.